Hey guys, are we on? Tell me we're on. I still think the frame and the camera is a bit too far from me. So what I need you to do is, if you can, spread this broadcast to people that you think would be interested in it. I'd be grateful. I was in Livingstone, yesterday I was in Livingstone, and a tech company, I think they're called Infertel or something like that. They gave me this pen. Look at this. Is that the biggest pen you've ever seen, or is that the biggest pen you've ever seen? Let's put that aside so that the screen is not as messy. Guys, what I'm going to do is, if you could do me a favor, first of all, if you could tell me that this broadcast is clear so that we can get the show on the proverbial road. I'm over here at Simon Building, plot number 85 Simon Mwewa Lane, opposite City Market, in the CBD, the Central Business District. Right, so what I need, who's this lady? That's Natch. CIC Press they've just posted a video of Natch. I call her Natch. Is it Natch or Knack? She's so funny. She uses my voice and she creates videos using my voice, and I find that so flattering. But she is so hilarious, and I love the way she does what she does. Thank you, Natch, or Knack. I call her Natch. So what I need to do here, the reason this phone, and I usually place my phone on this little stand, okay? That way it looks neat. What do you think? Is that a neat thing? I got my laptop, I've got my pen here for quick notes, and I've got my phone here. So what I need to do is, when I posted this, I posted earlier that I was going to come over and, as is my custom, many of you know, there's certain topics that I love to talk about, things that pique my interest, and things that I choose to sprinkle a little SML TV dust on. So earlier I posted, I said at 12:30 I'm going to talk about these two items. First item is my reaction to President Hakainde Hichilema's speech in Livingstone, and then also to give you an update on the 5 gentlemen that were arrested for falsely accusing a 61-year-old man of witchcraft, and accusing this man that, he went around touching people's shoulders and their private parts somehow miraculously disappeared. Well, I'm going to give you an update on that, and just to show you how superstitious we are as a people. And this case, I think, is a very important piece of the social puzzle in as far as our attitude towards such false claims. Superstitious idiots running around thinking, we'll talk about it, okay? So when I did that, when I posted that, some schmuck, some jamoke by the name of Evans Musafili, that's his name. He says, this is what he says. He says, you listen to yourself. We are busy. Mwewa, we've got no time to listen to you. Give us a better and worthy, give us a better and worth its topics to discuss. Well, here's the thing, Evans. Let me explain how it works. This is my platform, and because it's my platform, I give you my opinion from my vantage point. Now, if for any reason any of this doesn't set well with you, if for any reason you don't like anything that I say, 2 things. First of all, you can jump through this, okay? I couldn't care less, number one. And number two, Create your own platform. I can see from your page you have about 4,000 followers. That's a great start. That is a monumental start. Start from there. Create your own content. Create your own vibe. Create your own platform. That way, whenever you do have something to say, we can turn around and say, you are listening to yourself. Eh? Give us better topics. You Evans. I love to take jabs at these guys because, you know, they think that we can't retort. Of course we're going to retort. We're not going to just sit there and take it from you. We're not doing it. All right, I'm going to check out my sound first of all. Just want to make sure that our sound is good, my sound is good. That's very important to me. I've had to learn that the hard way. There's one time I spoke for a good 10 minutes without reading the comments. Wouldn't you know, my sound was off. And yet in the comment section, people were screaming, your mic is off, your mic is off, your mic. I wasn't reading the comments. Because, you know, sometimes when you're doing a live talking head, such as this one, the audience sometimes distract you. The audience sort of throws you off track. You know, you lose your train of thought, and I never want that. So I choose to remain focused sometimes. So here it is. Let me just check my sound, see if it's good. Are we good? Maybe my internet is off. Settings. Give me a moment, guys. I'll be with you directly. I'll be with you directly. I have to do this for my own peace of mind, guys. I know it sounds a bit laborious. Okay, here we go. Or something. Let's go ahead. So here it is. Let me just check my sound. We're good. I think we're good. So let's begin. As many of you know, yesterday I accompanied the media team to Livingstone, and we covered the president's visit to Livingstone. Let me just make it clear, because I know some people don't understand the role that social media plays in the grand scheme of things. I know people misunderstand this idea of, especially SML TV, myself, especially me accompanying the media team along with the presidential entourage to cover his visits all across this nation, whether it be a traditional ceremony or a special event like the Tech Summit that happened over there in Livingstone, whether it be that or something else. People have it confused. People, I read in the comment section, they'll say things like, you are enjoying. Honey, there is nothing to enjoy. It's work, work, work. Let me explain. You see, President Hichilema has recognized the important role that social media plays in terms of disseminating his vision, his agenda, and his plan. Of course, I'm not suggesting that SML TV is the only social media platform that the president's office uses in terms of disseminating his vision and his message. We're not the only ones. And it's not set in concrete that I accompany the president's media entourage on every single trip. That's not how it works. The way it works is there's a team of people that decide, okay, this week we'll ask Mwewa to go. They could even ask me a couple of weeks in a row. That's fine. You know, my point in saying that is it's not set in stone. For example, today they've gone to, my understanding is Nakonde. I'm not on that trip, okay? But I was on the Livingstone trip. The idea is to make sure that the message is spread across. There's a wide net of dissemination going on so that as many people get the message as possible. It's not about joyriding. Some of you see us getting on planes and helicopters. It's about expedition. That's what it is. It's about being expeditious. Okay? It's about, you know what expeditious means? Expeditious means do it quickly. To expedite something means to do it quickly. Okay? As opposed to me riding a bike from here to Livingstone. When you fly a plane, you get there quicker. You disseminate the information quicker. Okay? You do the things that you're supposed to do quicker. It's about being expeditious. Okay? Now, on the part of enjoying, I don't know what you guys see. I don't know if you think that riding a plane is enjoying, because I will tell you, the moment we get to a site, for example, if we land, like yesterday we landed in Livingstone, our job is to show you, to bring you what you wouldn't otherwise see. My job in particular is to sort of give you a background, a behind the scenes view of what happens on these trips. That's my job. And also to engage with the locals on a very personable level. That's my job, and that's what I do. Now, in order to do that, my job requires that I'm constantly on my feet. Constantly. You know, there is no time to relax and blah, blah, blah. I mean, every so often you'll sit and have a drink or something to eat and all. But the bulk of what you're doing is that you're constantly on your feet. I even have it easy compared to my colleagues from ZNBC, State House Media. Those guys stand on their feet for 5 to Chela Tukuta. Chela Tukuta. You think he's out there playing around? That guy, he's got like 4 or 5 cameras. He's got a gigantic bag on his back. He's running around trying to get the best shot possible for you. For you. And some of you are so basic. You're so dwanzi. You're so rudimentary. No, they are enjoying. Enjoying what? We are working. Yes, we're compensated. Of course we're compensated. Each one of us is given a stipend. Of course. That's a given. You know, there's nothing ambiguous about that. There's nothing illegal or strange about that. No. Each one of us are given a stipend for the time we spend covering these trips so that we can bring you the information as best as we can. In my case, I bring it to you in real time. I often vlog in real time. That is to say, I vlog live. So what you see is what you get, okay? So yesterday we went to Livingstone, and I've been on these presidential trips for the better part of two years, off and on. I've been to many traditional ceremonies. These trips have accorded me the opportunity to see parts of this country that I wouldn't otherwise see. And I'm grateful for that. But don't lose focus of the fact that it's about bringing you the information. It's about dissemination. That's what it is. It's about bringing you the information. So anyway, yesterday we went, and there was a portion of this trip after the president attended this tech summit that's been happening in Livingstone, that's still going on. The president, when he went yesterday, the president, in a sense, opened and sort of launched the tech summit. So after the tech summit, the president had decided to speak to the UPND supporters at a venue within Livingstone in a hall, and some of the things that he said really touched and resonated with me, because I've been hearing President Hakainde Hichilema's speeches, and what I notice, and I've heard many of them, and I will sit and listen to all of them on these trips. And what I've noticed, what I've come to understand about the structure of his speeches, is that he basically has 3 main themes. There are many other themes, but in terms of how I hear it, how I hear his messaging, there are basically 3 themes. Number 1, where we were as opposed to where we are, the type of country we were living in prior the UPND and what we're living in now. That's number 1. Number 2, where he wants us to go. Okay, where he wants us to go. Number 3, he emphasizes education. Education is a very big component. It's a massive component, a massive piece of the UPND administration. And I in listening to his speech yesterday, that speech, in my view, should be called the bigger picture. And that's the type of speech I believe he should be preaching all across this nation. He talked about this idea of cohesiveness, this idea that the UPND administration, it's not about him, okay? It's not about him as an individual. It's about the collective. And he spoke to the fact that there are people, there are parts of the electorate that believe that, no, me, I'll vote for HH, but the councillor, I'll vote for someone else. MP, I'll vote for a different party. Ward chairman, his message was, if you have that simplistic approach to politics, if you think that governance can be brought about through that type of politics where you say, I'll vote for the presidency, but I won't vote for his MPs. I won't vote for his councillors. I won't vote for his chairman, ward chairman. You are clipping the president's ability to deliver to the people that he presides over. That is to say, you and I. And that message that he gave yesterday, to me, is extremely important. And I think moving forward, no pun intended, moving forward, and I whispered to one of the president's aides, or the people that are constantly with the president, I whispered to them, I said, please encourage the president to preach this message all across the nation. Because our people need to understand that governance is not about just the president. It's about the people that serve under him in order to make his job easier, in order to make his ability easier to deliver on the things that he's supposed to deliver. And I think that he knows that people talk like that, because he was very, very emphatic about that. He says, no, I've been hearing. Iyo simplistic approach mkwete ya kuti. Yo, Hakainde Hichilema, I'll vote for him, but I won't vote for his MPs or his... You are not enabling the president to execute, to perform his duties in the way that he's supposed to, when you have that simplistic approach of saying, no, HH will vote for, but this MP, we won't. It doesn't work that way. That is not how governance works. And he was at great pains yesterday to explain this to the audience that he was addressing. I will tell you this though, at some stage during his speech, I could see it on the faces of the people that were present. They were getting it. They were beginning to understand it. They were beginning to sort of absorb it and understand how governance works. And I think that it's important for the lieutenants to preach this same message. I mean, people talk about trickle-down economics. Well, we need to have trickle-down information. You know, the president's speech that he gave yesterday, this should be every MP, every councillor, every ward chairman needs to run with this message. And the title of this message should be, in my view, the bigger picture. The bigger picture. What is the bigger picture? The bigger picture is not only to deliver on the things that the president has promised, but also to be enabled to deliver those by voting in people from his party. Now, of course, we're not saying that it should be 100%. That's not how democracy works. And that's not what I'm talking about. That's not my point. My point is, and he made this great point. He said that, do you know that UPND has had representation in Parliament since 1998? But it was only after they formed government that they were able to do the things that they were able to do. Why? Because they are now in government. Now they have formed government. Now they are in a seat of service. Now they're serving the people from a governance point of view. Not just merely having numbers in Parliament there. Since 1988, his message was clear. We need to teach our people, we need to disseminate this information and explain to our people that it's not about just the presidency. It's about the cohesive nature of governance. Do you understand that? I've been listening to HH for a long time, but yesterday when he spoke, I tell you, it was gelling. I could feel it. I was thinking, this is the message, and this is the message. The bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture. Okay, it's not about your petty differences between you and your counselor, whom you don't like, who happens to be UPND, and because you are disgruntled and you have a difference with your counselor who's UPND, you say, no, you counselor, me, I don't like you, but I like HH. So I'll vote for HH, but you as counselor, because I don't like you, I won't vote for you. You are clipping the power of the president when you do that. Let me say it again. You are clipping the power of the president. The power to do what? The power to deliver. Okay, not the power to rule, the power to deliver, the power to serve. Okay, this president is very clear about service. There is a distinction between ruling and service. If you notice, if you listen to HH's lingo, he's very clear when he talks about service. You will never hear HH say, we are going to rule over you in 2026. No. HH constantly says, if you give us an opportunity, if you vote us back into office, we will serve you to the best of our ability. It's only those PF chaps who use such language. We're going to rule you. No, nobody rules. Public officials serve. Are we together? Yeah? Can we, is that, are we fine with that? Are we good? Yeah? Same page? Good. Wonderful. Right. Secondly, let me just give you an update on these five guys. You guys know the story. A 61-year-old man in Chingola was falsely accused of being a witch. 5 men, grown men, went to the police and they foolishly said to the police, there's a 61-year-old man who's going around touching people's shoulders. He touched our shoulders, these 5 men said, and our private parts, our genitals disappeared. Our reproductive organs are no more. Our jewels, our family jewels are not there. Why? Because this 61-year-old man is a witch. And when upon touching us, Katundu yachita disappear. In the process of accusing this old 61-year-old man, they began and they proceeded to beat him. They kicked him. And I want to focus on that for a moment because I think sometimes we lose sight of the barbaric nature of these so-called mob justices. When you kick a 61-year-old man, when you go beyond the age of 60 years old, you are brittle. You know the word brittle? Can you spell it? Somebody say it in the comments there. Here it is. I'll say it. I'll write it. That's the word. Do you see my comment there? Do you see that? Brittle. You see that word? When you're 60 and above, and in many cases, even if you're 50 and above, there's some 50-year-olds, they're brittle, meaning their bones is not as strong as they once were. They're not as, they don't have the strength that they once mustered. And so when you kick and when you physically hurt, you slap, you wrestle. In Louisiana, they say wrestle. It's wrestle. When you wrestle a 61-year-old man, you twist their arm, you throw them to the ground, you kick them. Because they are brittle, their bones are not as strong as they once were. They're prone to injuries. The number one fear of an older person, senior citizens, number one fear is to fall, to hurt your hip, to break your arm, because when you break a bone as an elderly person, as a senior citizen, your body doesn't heal as fast. Your body doesn't recoup as it once did. You know, a 20-year-old that breaks their leg, I mean, their leg is healed in no time. But if you kick, you see the picture of that man that kicked the 61-year-old man, kicked him. And for what? Because he falsely accused him of being a witch. Now, this is what I'm very pleased about. I'm very happy that these 5 gentlemen have been arrested and charged. 2 things. Number one, they gave the police false, inaccurate information. The police, thank God, the police said to them, oh, so you are claiming that this man is a witch, he touched you, and your genitals, your genitalia, your katundu is not there? Hey, wachitukumia baba mdala kuisa papa na salolesha na mona katundu tairipo. So ile na manandi twaisalanda chichimdale chitwala chu twala chuma. Why? Pantu na church tukumia elo katundu ya chita disappear. So pano tuli mdala tatuli bwino ifini tunafia. So nga tuwafika kunganda katuishi madam ngabala tupanya kabita tukwete ability. Ability tapali mdala. Oh really? Ever chiri? Really? Mkwai? All right. Could you mind disrobing? Mkwai? Disrobe. Fule ni ba kolwe mwe. Tufule. Deti fule. Inspector, can you come and witness these chaps take off their clothes? They are claiming that their katundu is disappeared. Fule ni mwe ba kolwe mwe, ba koloko mbwe mwe, tulefo kumona. Number boss ya wanu ayo. Those are ones. Iwe kolwe ngata wa fule twala kupuma. Okay bwana. Na wako ati fipulu fiafula. Bafitambila. The police looked and said, "Iyo na ukwata syphilis. Iyo katundu itaibomba na kubomba. You are just useless. Your katundu is intact. Inadequate, but intact. Minuscule, but intact. Infinitesimal, but intact. Your claim does not match your report. Not only that, you have physically assaulted this man. You have beat him. You beat a 61-year-old man. And you honestly think that that is justifiable. Twala milonga, twala michita longi. Balongeni ababa mambala balongeni. Police, well done. Throw those 5 men in the gallows. This should serve as a lesson. You that make false claims, you that are so superstitious that you're no earthly good, you just go back to the village. You don't belong here in the city. You don't. Go back to your backwards, wayward thinking. Just go back there so that you don't come here, start disturbing people, making false claims. Good to know. Ali tukumia katundu ya chita disappear. So panini mfulungana ineni mfulungana chita falangix. The same goes, you remember the story of that coffin? These Ediobaka Pokola police, we want an update on that story as well. Don't let that story slide. Ida story. You remember the story of these young men, Mukomboni. Umwina makomboni, umwali bakantu mule umfuafia. Aba lumendo katushinga bali 4 or 5 baisa imembokoshi casket a coffin, and they said no, the coffin will lead us to the house of the witch. They get there and they burn the house. Those boys should be arrested. Why? Because they incited their community into believing that the coffin had power to guide them to a house where the witch resided. And consequently, the community rose up to burn and destroy that house at the behest of these chaps who were carrying that casket. But this nonsense has to come to an end. It has to come to an end. Don't allow these dwanzis, these uneducated dwanzis, to manipulate you into thinking something that is not. It's not. It's not true. There's no such thing as witchcraft. Nobody has the ability to tap you and make your katundu disappear. No one has the ability to tap you on the shoulders and make the diamond at the meeting of your thighs disappear. That is nonsense. It does not exist. To a pena. All right. Somebody said, who's this? Lil says, what has the village done? They see witches and demons everywhere, and they come here in town and start creating such falsities, stories that don't even make any sense. In the process, people die. Have you ever seen a mob justice, a mob in their minds? They think they're carrying out justice when it's not. It's debauchery. Have you ever seen a mob senselessly beat someone that the community's accusing of being a witch? Have you ever seen that? It's the most disturbing thing. It has to come to an end. All right. Thanks for watching. I have to go have lunch, my first meal of the day. I haven't had anything to eat. I did fall off the wagon, I must confess to you. While in Livingstone, I fell off the wagon. Oh my goodness, did I ever fall off the wagon? Not only did I drink Coca-Cola, I had dessert, and I had, wait for it, a chicken mayonnaise sandwich like you would not believe. Puts the letter D in delicious, honey. All right. Now, the reason I'm standing up is because I have to stand up and then turn off because it's quite a distance from me. Okay, here we go. I'll get up here in a moment. Thanks for watching.